Hi guys, Chuck here. Just got through rewrapping a DW drum kit and wanted to pass along some tips to you guys that might help you if you are so inclined to rewrap a DW kit. I did a lot of research online and could only find one person who had done a DW kit, and it was the exact same kit as mine actually, and he was very helpful in how to remove the wrap, but that's as far as he went. And his tip that was really great, glad I watched, and I'll show you guys right off the bat, was to not try to take it apart here at the seam, because at the top and the bottom of the seam, uses some kind of extremely strong, tacky something that's just a round spot here and here. Really hard to get off. So if you, he just made a little slit way over here, and he started with a heat gun there and was able to get under that slit, go all around that way, and then when you get back to that, you've got leverage with the wrap to get that off. Now I was told by some that you couldn't rewrap a DW kit, that the wrap and the drum are so fused together that they become as one and it can't be done. Well, that was wrong, because as you can see, I just did this drum with the twisted white satin, which the reason I did it, let me just back up, is I noticed that my floor tom had turned yellow, had some big yellow blotches on it about a year ago. And I used the retro bright method that, if you've seen some of my YouTube videos, drum cover videos with the Ludwig kit, it's the white marine pearl kit, it was completely yellow when I got it. I'll post some pictures here as I go along to show you. And I think I've got one of the yellowed Ludwig kit. And the retro bright method did great with the Ludwig kit. It took all the yellow off. I mean, the kit looked immaculate. For some reason, it didn't work quite as well with this particular wrap, the twisted white satin. And I don't understand why. Delmar wrap is Delmar wrap. The best I can tell, Delmar makes wrap for DW, Ludwig, Tama, about everybody. And maybe they've changed the formula over the years. All I know is it didn't work very well with the DW kit. And the twisted white satin apparently turns yellow a lot faster than the old Ludwig kit. That Ludwig kit was a 1965 kit. This kit's nowhere near that old, and it's already yellow. So after I did the retro bite, 1 year later, not only was it more yellow, it was horribly yellow. I think the retro bite actually made it much, much worse. So it was just awful ugly. I couldn't take it. So second thing I was told, not only can you not rewrap a DW kit, but that DW doesn't sell wrap, which is fine. There's Precision, there's Jam and Sam's. Unfortunately, nobody carries this particular wrap. Many of the wraps that are used by DW, Tama, Ludwig, all the others, they do carry, but I guess this is not a popular wrap. Maybe because it turns yellow, I don't know. But they didn't have it. So I contacted Delmar, and they said, "Oh yes, we can sell that to you. You just have to buy 95 sheets." 95 sheets. It takes about 3 sheets to do a whole kit. So we're talking $15,000 to buy 95 sheets. Well, that was not an option. So what I did, and this is what you might also do, is I contacted DW, sent them pictures of this, and said, "Could you please just sell me a piece of wrap, and I'll put it on myself. If not, I'll strip the old wrap off. I'll get the glue off. I'll get the drum prepped and send it to you, send you the shell if you would just slap a piece of wrap on there for me. I don't want to buy a whole new kit because of a yellowed floor tom. A lot of time went by. The guy finally got back to me and said, call your local DW dealer and have them order you a piece, which I did, and it worked. So I guess the key is DW doesn't sell wrap, but you can get it from a DW dealer. They're able to contact a DW rep, I guess, and get it. You might have to prove that you have a DW kit. I sent pictures to the guy at DW and said, look, I mean, this is awful. It's horrible. I can't leave it. You might have to do that to prove that you actually have a DW kit. I don't know. But anyway, so I got the piece of wrap, and I was able to do this 12-inch and this floor tom. And they both worked beautifully. That one piece of wrap did 2 drums. So here are my tips. After you get the wrap off, it's no big deal with the heat gun. It comes off in a big mess. It looks like this. It actually didn't look that bad as I was doing it. I think maybe after it came off, the heat made it look this way. I didn't realize it was. I was actually just scorching it, but it did come. It comes off. You just heat and use a putty knife and just pull up and use gloves. You pull down and it comes off about that much at a time. It takes a good while to get it all the way around, but it comes off. It doesn't burn the drum. There were no burns at all on the drum. The problem is after it comes off, I'll show you, hopefully I've got a picture of this, is what the drum looks like after it comes off. It was awful with glue. And John Good goes off about how great their glue is and how it makes the shell and the wrap become as one, and he is right. What they do, they put the glue on, then they heat it, I think 200 degrees as they're pressing it in this huge press, and then they put it in this cold press and press it. And I guess those two temperatures just really fuse it on there, but I mean, it's on there. It's not hard to get the wrap off, but apparently that really cures the glue. And that glue is a nightmare to get off. I Googled to see other people that have wrapped drums to see what they've used. I was told mineral spirits. I tried that. Nothing. Paint thinner. Tried that. Nothing. WD-40. Maybe a tiny bit. Not very good. Alcohol. 90%. Nope. Tried all that, and finally I went and got some sponges. These are Scotch Brite. For some reason they didn't work at all on the 12-inch, but on the floor tom, I'll explain a little later why they didn't work on the 12-inch. But on the floor tom, after I got it off, I also tried some of the goof off that's in it looked like a little can of like the old lighter fluid cans you squirt, just real watery. It just ran right off. It did nothing. So I tried that and I said, forget that. So I got these and it takes it off, but if you can see what the sponge looks like with these globs of glue, and you put this on there and you rub and rub and rub and rub, and you've done one little spot. It probably took me 2 hours to rub all the glue off. If I would have bought more sponges, maybe it would have been easier. I only had 2, and like I say, they get clogged. And off she came. Okay, so then the next tip was I saw a gentleman who does a lot of wrap, and he was comparing the glues. The most common recommended one by Jam & Sam and Precision, of course, is the 3M contact cement. Well, it costs $45 for a big jug. And I originally was just going to wrap the 16-inch floor tom. I thought, I don't need that huge jug of glue for that, $46. Plus, bad part is I couldn't find it anywhere. Nobody had it. I mean, so the gentleman said that he also tried this weldwood, and this is a water-based contact cement. His thing is that the contact cement fumes will kill you. It's just unbearable. So he tried this and said it worked great. Had really good luck. He didn't know how long it would last, but he had good luck. I tried this. I put it on there, followed the instructions. The wrap would not stick. I mean, it would not stick, period. I left it on there till it dried on both pieces, the wrap and the drum. I left it for 20 minutes. I left it for 30 minutes. I left it for 40 minutes. I tried 10 minutes. It will not stick. Put the wrap up, off she comes. So I went back to Home Depot and got the other glue that the gentleman said that he had used for years that worked great, but the fumes would kill you. And this is the normal weldwood contact cement. So I thought, well, I'll just do something to save myself from the fumes. So I took it out on my screened-in porch and put a mask on, and it was no problem. I could barely smell it. I don't know. Maybe he was doing it inside in a stuffy room or something. I don't know. You put a layer of this on the wrap and a layer on the shell. Wait 20 minutes, and when you stick that wrap on there, it is on there. There's no coming off. You have to be sure that you've got it right. So what I did also is DW is known for putting the wrap all the way to the edge, and then they cut the bearing edge with the wrap. So when you look at the inside of a DW drum, or with the heads off, when you look at it, the wrap and the shell actually do around the bearing edge. It looks as if that's one. It's like the wood and the wrap are one piece because it's cut perfectly. Well, I was afraid that if I did that, someone said you put the wrap on there and then take a razor and just angle it and go all the way around and cut it even with the bearing edge. Well, I knew good and well that if I did that, I was going to cut into the wood. So I said, nope, not going to do that. So I did what Ludwig does with theirs, and I left a 1/4 of an inch gap at the bottom and a 1/4 of an inch gap at the top. Just leave a little gap, go all around and glue it. It's fine. If it works, if it's good enough for Ludwig, good enough for me. It doesn't look as good when you take the head off as it did, but who's going to see it with the head off? So anyway, that is pretty much my advice. Oh, and on the 12-inch tom, for some reason, I did a little bit more Googling, and someone said to use this, which is a gel spray, Goo-Gone gel spray. So you can spray it on, and it doesn't just run off. It stays on there and leave it for a few minutes, and then scrape the glue off. And that did work fairly well. In fact, I thought it was working beautifully, because globs of junk would come off after I used my scraper and went around it after it loosened up. Problem was, after that dried, it was just tacky. Put another application, wait another 10-15 minutes, scrape it off. When it dried, it was tacky. Didn't have the huge balls and globs of glue that the 16 had without doing that, but it was still tacky. So back to scraping. Well, I tried my trusty sponges, and for some reason, I guess after you use the Goo-Gone, these do nothing, really. Nothing came off. So another tip from another guy said get an old shoe. This one is an old Reebok with a soft rubber sole, and you use it to scrape, and that did the trick on the 12-inch. It was hard, just like with the sponges on the 16, and it took forever, just rubbing and rubbing and rubbing, but this worked better than anything. So that gets all the glue off, and then after you do that, putting the wrap on is a piece of cake. Very last tip that I learned is one of the guys that does this said be sure and drill your holes for the lugs from the outside in, because if you drill from the inside, he said it gets debris under the wrap and it pushes up on the wrap. So I drilled one hole like he said, and it was awful. It splintered the wrap. It just looked awful around the edge. I would have had to file or, use the bit and go around it and make the hole a little bit bigger to get that junk off. So what I did was I took a block of wood, laid this down on the block of wood, drilled from the inside. It pops, and then when you look at it, the holes are absolutely perfect. They look just like the factory holes, perfectly in place. Oh, the guy, I forgot to mention, when the guy said when you drill it from the outside, you put a light on the inside, get it in a dark room, drop a light on the inside, and it lights up the holes, which he's right, it did do that, but you still have to make sure you get that drill in the center of this slick wrap. I even used a tiny bit at first and went with a bigger, but if you don't get it centered to begin with, you've ruined your hole. You made the hole bigger. With my way, with a block of wood, you get the perfect size drill bit, you stick it in the hole that's already there on the inside and go straight down, it's done. So anyway, that's done. So unfortunately now that I've done these two, I've noticed that my kick drum now doesn't match. It's beginning to turn yellow. So I'm going to order more wrap and do the kick drum, my worst nightmare. So if anybody knows any way to get this glue off that's better than what I have described, please send me a message and let me know what you use. Like I say, I've tried everything, and the kick drum will probably be the death of me. I mean, it's gonna take literally hours to get that much glue off, and I really am not looking forward to it. So if you've got any ideas, please let me know, and if you have any questions, something I might have missed, just shoot me a text there, and I'll try and answer for you. All right, guys, that's all I have. I hope that helps somebody. It may not be this hard if you're not rewrapping a DW kit. My advice is never buy a white wrap. Delmar wrap, they turn yellow. The white marine pearl does. Like I said, this one does. So, I mean, they're beautiful, but if you do, count on doing a rewrap in a few years, unless you are like some people that really think that yellow's cool, which I do not. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.